for Marty, everybody. Told you, he's definitely not racist at all. Definitely not. All right, let me get right into it. This guy actually do this show back on the first one, so like, give it up for him. Super funny, Corey Miller, everybody.
Yeah, he told me we had 10 minutes. Last time I lasted 10 minutes, I ended up with child support payments about 9 months later. Let's give this a fucking whirl. So, I got a lot of weird shit that happens to me. Like, I have ADHD and I have like random thoughts. And, like, I was at the mall the other day and I saw this real fat couple with like a whole bunch of Vietnamese kids. And I thought to myself, you think ugly people adopt kids so they have to fuck each other? Like, is that the ultimate goal? Like, hey, I'm a 4, you're a 3, let's just call this agency. You know what I mean? And a lot of weird shit that happens to me. Like the one time I was doing stand-up and I weighed myself that day and I found out I weighed as much as Lizzo. So I knew I was like out of shape, and I didn't realize it got that bad. So like I brought that up like at the open mic. I was like, yeah, I'm like as fat as Lizzo. Like I need to like join Planet Fitness at least, or like maybe go to Gold's. And this lady in the back row was like, oh, well, she's a fucking saint. I'm like, you kind of look like Lizzo. And she threw a drink at me and missed. How do you do that? I'm as fat as Lizzo. Never throw anything ever again in your life, lady. Oh, it was great. So I'm a bouncer. I don't know if you guys know this. And I used to bounce on the graphs. Threw this dude out. This is probably the craziest thing that ever happened when I was bouncing. So I threw this dude out, right? And we're outside. He's looking at me, and he's just like, yo, bro, we can fucking do this, you fat fuck. And I'm like, that's like really rude. And then he's like, give me the tail of the tape. He's like, I'm Daryl, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm 37 and 3 and unhand like cockfighting. And he's like going through like the tail of the tape. So we're like warming up. I start to stretch because you know I'm out of shape. Yeah, I don't know if you know I'm as big as Lizzo. But I'm out of shape as fuck. I start like, you know, throwing a couple of these out there. And I'm just like, you know, cracking my back on the bar. And he's just like, well, we can fucking do that. And he's like, starts talking in tongues and shit. And he's like, I'll beat the shit out of you, you fat fuck, because I'm a good father. But that's not why we're fighting right now, dude. Like, we're not fighting because you're a good father. Like, what makes you a good father? He's like, I put money back for my kids, dog. I'm just like, so you started a college store that makes you a good father? Like, this is the weirdest thing I ever had happen to me when I was bouncing at a bar. Like, hey man, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, but let me tell you something. That world's greatest dad mug, it's going to me this year. Real shit. He should get like a WBC championship belt, world greatest father, just defend that shit on Father's Day. Like, it was fucking insane. He was thinking like, I could probably get my ass beat by this fat ass bouncer, but I'm a great goddamn dad. Because my kids read at a level way better than what they should be reading at. Anyways, y'all on Bumble? Fucking, you guys ain't got the internet up here? Hey, what the fuck? So, like, anyone on online dating? Like, am I the only one?
Go Tinder!
Go Tinder? I'm team whatever the fuck I get swipes on. So, I'm on Facebook dating, I'm on Bumble, I'm on fucking Hinge. And Hinge is just for chicks that can't get swiped right on Tinder. So that's why I'm there, because, you know, big girls need loving too. And, but anyways, I was on Facebook dating, went out with this girl. Things were going great, I thought. I go to text her on the ride home, and just to be like, hey, get home safe, I had a good time, hopefully we can meet up again next week. It says, user is no longer available. She blocked me while we were in the fucking restaurant. And that ain't a kick to the nuggets. I don't know what the fuck a kick to the nuggets is. But anyway, so like, I'm like chilling at my house about a month later. I find her on Venmo. So I sent her a request for the amount that the date was. And all of a sudden, she's available on Messenger again. It was fucking insane. She's texting me about how no one ever loved me. And I'm like, that's probably right, I'm divorced. But anyways, she's like blowing my shit up. And I was like, do you have the $118.48 or not? Let's just get to the fucking point here, Lisa. Oh man, it was great. But I'm also on Tinder. And Tinder I use for like, I use it as like a different like income stream, and I'll tell you how I use it. So I have my setup for Shippensburg, the location, and all it says is I have it from 18 to 21. It says, we'll buy you alcohol, cigarettes, and vapes. And then when the girls Venmo me, I just block them on Venmo and pocket that shit. I made like $300 last week. I'm not kidding you. This is like the most like, I'm gonna have to report to the IRS how much I made last week. Because I made so much money off of like, what are you gonna do, call the cops? You're 18. So yeah, that's what I do with Tinder. I'm just like, we'll buy you alcohol, cigarettes, and vapes. And then I block them on Venmo and never get it for them, but I keep them on Tinder. That way my phone goes off so I don't feel lonely. That way they're blowing my shit up like left and right. Like, where the fuck are you at? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, I'll get it to you eventually, next week maybe. But yeah, it's great. On my Bumble profile, it says, warning, fatter in person. Fuck everyone even for laughing at me. You guys are dicks. I lost like 12 pounds this week because I've been sick as fuck. So yeah, suck on that one. But thank you. Oh man. Oh great. So on my Bumble profile it says warning, fatter in person. I matched with this chick that's like way out of my league. Like she's a solid 9. And she hits me up, she's like, what are you doing Wednesday? Do you want to go out and grab a bite? I was like, let's hit Five Guys. So I pull up the Five Guys, I get out of my car, and she says to me, wow, your profile really wasn't lying. I'm like, about what? She's like, you are way fatter in person. I'm like, wow, that really hit the one of the nuts, you know, bam. Like, hey, good to meet you, I'm Corey. But we go in, and then I'm like, you think about, she's being rude to me the whole time we're in line. I'm like, I'm not paying for your fucking food. So we sit down, we're eating, it's going terrible. We're like, pretty much just roasting each other. And at the end of it, she says, and I quote, I don't think 99% of the world's population will want to fuck you. I Googled that shit, that's still 76 million people want to hop in that. So hold that L, Bridget. Fucking dumb bitch. It's great. So I work at Savannah's. Anyone ever been there? Thank you, I guess. I don't know what the hell to tell you. You guys like boobs, I guess. But I work at Savannah's, and probably one of the craziest things that ever happened at Savannah's was we got into a fight with 9 Asian dudes. And the craziest part about this whole entire brawl was it was a Tuesday night at like 9:30. And the Army Rangers were at Fort Indian Town Gap doing training. And these Asian dudes were trying to fight all 20 of them. And I'm like, you guys are fucking retarded. Like, what the fuck? Like, these dudes have stabbed motherfuckers with knives. They're trained to do that. They can take their shoe off and kill you. And you're gonna talk shit to them? So finally, we get all these dudes out. We're corralling these dudes. It looked like it was just me and this 6'4" black dude that's like 380 pounds. Looked like we were herding a bunch of Asian men. Just like herding them out of the fucking bar. It was the funniest thing on video. When my boss radios in, he's like, hey, the door's locked. And this dude shoved me, so I elbowed him in the chest as hard as I could, and he flipped over the railing. My boss got the video of it and dubbed over everybody was kung fu fighting. It was like the single funniest thing that ever happened. But yeah, like I have a lot of weird ass customers that come in there. Like dudes be like, hey, if I tip you $20, can I pull my dick out in the VIP room? Yes. No. That is definitely, who said that? I need your license. You're no longer allowed in Savannah. I'm not kidding. But so, these dudes would be like, yeah, $20 and I can just pull my dick out and they get my dick sucked. And I'm like, I'm not the one that's going to be sucking it. 'Cause, you know, if you got $20 and you're trying to get your dick sucked, I'm probably the last person in the building to like accommodate that fucking thing. But anyways, this dude says to me, multi-millionaire comes in this one Tuesday night. He's like, dude, how much to pull my dick out? And I was like, $42,000. Yes. He said, why that much? I was like, because if I lose my job, I have about a year's worth of funds to like play around with. So that way, if I get fired for letting Gary, the guy who has an aviation company from Ohio, pull his dick out to get it tortured or whatever the fuck you're into up there, like I get a little bit of a buff. You guys know what I'm talking about? Are you guys got any side hustles out there? What's your side hustle? Oh, no shit, me too. That's my main income. No need to brag. But anyways, I do Uber Eats. Give me one sec. I am sick as fuck. I don't know if you guys can hear this. Anyways, I do Uber Eats. And I got the most interesting Uber Eats order about 2 years ago. I got an Uber Eats order for $237 to Wendy's at 1 o'clock on a Saturday. So I get the order, I see in the special instructions, it says the Red Roof Inn in Harrisburg, room 420, knock before entering in all caps 3 times. I roll up, I knock. I look like Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat. with like all the suitcases, you know what I mean? But it's just Wendy's food. And when you look like I do, walking out of Wendy's with that much food is not a good fucking look. Like people aren't thinking to themselves like, he's got a real big family. They're thinking to themselves, that fat ass is gonna go home, put on some Janet Jackson and wax all those bacon eggs off. And like they're not far off, like I totally would have been into that. But anyways, I go to the Red Roof Inn, I knock on the door, and all I see is like 4 dudes bending over a meth head. Like I took Uber Eats to a gangbang at the Red Roof Inn. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? They're like, hey man, you look pretty cool. What's your story? I'm like, nothing I've ever done has been this interesting. What's your fucking story? And they said to me, I'm Darren. I own a trucking company, and we have a good quarter. We rent Megan out for this, and we just go to town. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is crazy. But the crazy part about the whole situation was, she's like getting piped down, like bent down, dick in the mouth. As I open the door, she like pops the dick out of her mouth, like, Asiago salad, that's mine. She knew the order, like that's fucking insane. Like you were doing anal that day, so it's good that you didn't have a cheeseburger. You would have shit all over the shit. Then like the next day, I go to Rite Aid. I go to the 7-Eleven in Enola, and then I go over to Rite Aid to grab a quick like Red Bull or whatever. She's there and she says, oh well, they tipped an extra $15K, so I let them nut in me. I'm getting Plan B. I'm like, but you didn't plan A, B, C, D, and F. What the fuck are you talking about? You have 15 dudes that own a trucking company busted a nut in you yesterday. That's fucking insane. But I'm Corey Miller. I think that's my time.
Give it up for Corey Miller, everybody. All right, this next guy, everybody knows.